cheating me.
How do you go from 39 to 60?
We have introduced Shady. We have introduced James Jones. But, Joy Taylor, you have had days to think about this race. My bad. I was getting my form. You got 48 more hours, Joy Taylor, to ponder this race. What is going through? You've seen a lot of incredible matchups. What's going through your mind on the eves of this?
Well, listen, you guys are going to give him a show. If it's anything like the face-off. Look, all I'm asking is, I know, Shay, you don't stretch. You don't like to stretch.
Don't stretch. Don't do that. Don't play that. Don't play that stretch.
I think you should stretch.
I'm definitely going to stretch.
You know what I'm saying? You might want to get
things I don't do, Joy. I don't stretch. I don't eat good. I don't get sleep.
You don't run.
I don't run. I don't drink water.
But never did. But he never did.
I never did.
Get that still led the league in rushing.
The next two.
Couple times.
Couple times.
But last thing you didn't talk about.
Man, I never ate good.
He's 40 though. That matters though. He's almost close to 50. He's 40.
Matters.
39. Quit cheating me. But that's even gonna be worse.
You're so serious. Listen, I don't know what's
Acho, I know that's your boy.
I want to be at the finish line, though.
My dog.
No, I just got here. You just met me. We cool. So I know who you ride with, and that's all good. But what you gonna say?
Wait, hold on. Who you picking?
40/50, and I win.
Yo,
I reserve the right to
know that shit too.
not make a pick.
You know what
My
I'm saying?
OG, man.
Yeah.
I'm wearing tights the whole day.
The whole day.
If we on set, I'm wearing tights.
It's whatever.
Like I'm talking about the Terrell Owens tights.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah.
Go get it.
And listen, you don't gotta ask me what I don't care who. If you going against 2-5, then bet something.
That's something.
I've been down there my whole life. And you see how that worked out.
It worked out. Great for him.
Ching, ching.
Look, America, I cannot overstate how big of a race this is. You may have seen Usain Bolt. You may have seen FloJo. You may have heard of Allison Felix. But the races that you have witnessed from those individuals has nothing, and I mean nothing, in comparison to what you will see on Monday.
What I do know is everybody in the studio, just be prepared to bring a parka, a blanket, because everyone's gonna be in here sweating.
On your mark.
It's gonna be
Get
cold
set.
in here.
Whistle.
I'm out of there. I'm out of there.
I'm gonna be in the building. I done made a call.
There may be a slim appearance if LaShawn McCoy wins. Family, let's get to 1st and 10.
Now I'm really gonna win. Slim ain't coming.
Word on the street, Russell Wilson was sighted en route to Pittsburgh earlier today to visit the Steelers, but he made a pit stop in New Jersey earlier to have an exploratory meeting with the New York Giants. New York Giants first, Pittsburgh Steelers second. I got to thinking in 2-5, I said, you know what? The Giants make some sense for Russell Wilson in my mind. Brian Daboll, the head coach for the New York Giants, he has shown the ability to develop quarterbacks. Josh Allen, he developed him exponentially. Daniel Jones, he allowed Daniel Jones to look like a competent quarterback, allowed Daniel Jones to play so well that he convinced ownership to give Daniel Jones an $80+ million deal. Brian Daboll has stability. Brian Daboll is a coach who will now have the same system in play for the 3rd year in a row. This is not a new offense, not a new coach, not a confused coach, a coach that has proven he can develop quarterbacks. So if you are Russell Wilson, the first thing you got to do, 2-5, is ask yourself, can I go to a place where I will be good? Not necessarily the team will be good. Can I go to a place where I'm not embarrassing myself? I actually think the New York Giants is a brilliant location for us because Brian Daboll is one of the best quarterback developers currently coaching the game of football right now. You know the NFC East well. Do the Giants make sense for Russ?
I would say yes for a couple different reasons. One is, when you don't have a lot of options, who are you to say what you need, what you want? If the Giants want to get Russ, go get there. Go there because you need options, because you don't have options. The second thing is, I think it would be a good look for Russ because I think they will take a rookie quarterback, right? And I think Brian Daboll is so good where he can kind of grow and groom that young quarterback because they need somebody for the future. They need somebody that's a franchise quarterback. And there's a couple of them in this draft they can get. I think if you get a guy like Russ as a bridge guy, he can teach him a little bit, show him the things he's experienced in his league. And then another thing is the money part where you don't want to spend too much on a quarterback, and Russ is not expensive right now because you need so many weapons for the Giants. They need so much help. Offense, defense, linemen, wide receivers, running back now. They have so many holes that you got to get a cheap quarterback to fulfill your roster. So I like the Giants for them. The best move for me would be the Steelers, but I don't mind the Giants. Really, really good, well coached.
No. And no for both parties. Where are they going? Like, where are you going? You get Russell Wilson, where are you going? You win 2 to 3 more games. You're not going anywhere. The only thing Russell Wilson possibly can do is win you a couple games at the end of the season. If you win, you might make it into the playoffs or something like that. Maybe help keep Brian Daboll's job if, the next couple years this thing looks like the way it looked last year. We can all raise our eyebrows, but if this thing looks like it did last year, 2 years in a row, people gone. Russell Wilson is not about to help fix nothing that the Giants have going on over there. They do not have offensive pieces. You're about to lose your best offensive player in Saquon Barkley, right? You just lost your defensive coordinator. You don't got big-time pieces on the defensive side of the ball. This team is not going anywhere. As for Russell Wilson, this is an opportunity for him to revive his career. Why would you want to go to New York and possibly look worse than you did in Denver, especially even team-wise, then choose a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers? I know we say Russ can't be choosy, but he really can because you are getting him for pennies. So it's going to be some suitors out there knowing that you are going to get Russell Wilson for cheap. But when you talk about the Giants, this makes no sense for both parties. If I'm Daboll, how can I go get one of these young kids in the draft to be able to be my quarterback for the next 10, 15 years? Not Russell Wilson come out here and play like he played in Denver last year, because that's all we asking from Russ, and then you still in the same situation you're sitting in now with a high draft pick again next year. This makes no sense for both parties, in my opinion.
But what about the Russ teaching a young quarterback, though? Same way they did with Patrick Mahomes, same way they did with a lot of different quarterbacks.
But my thing is I would just let the young quarterback go. You're not going to win anyway. Let the young quarterback go. I could see if you were like a Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers or something, like your team is about to compete. You need a veteran to come in there, your team compete, make the playoffs, the young fella can. That's not the Giants. They're not going over. This is a bad football team, a very bad football team at that.
Yeah, all the teams in New York are bad football teams right now. This is not a good idea for Russ. I understand why the Giants would want him. If I'm the Giants, I would love to have Russ. You already have a sunk cost in Daniel Jones. Daboll can definitely make Russ better. He's shown the ability to do that. They don't really have a lot of stuff going on right now. Bringing Russell Wilson in will give you some buzz, some positivity. Maybe he can make some plays. He can kind of compete in that division. Sure. Like from the Giants' perspective, this is a great situation. And you could draft a quarterback. Maybe you do sit him behind Russell Wilson. But if I'm Russ, why am I going to the Giants? This is not a good situation. This is not a good roster. They are not winning right now. They haven't won the division in 11 years, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So they're not in a position to win right now. Russ has to win right now. Russ needs to go to a place that is ready to win right now. And when I say win, I don't mean a Super Bowl. I mean compete in the postseason. There's not that many teams that are in that position in the first place, and the Steelers are one of them. And they're interested. Yeah. So I think that the Giants only make sense from the Giants' perspective. If I'm Russ, I want no parts of having to go to New York City and be the savior of the New York football Giants. No thanks. I already did that in Denver. It went poorly. And while I do think that, not even a question, Daboll is a better coach, obviously, than Nathaniel Hackett, Daboll is still establishing what he's got going on there because they've struggled as well. And he's got to rebuild that roster and put together an identity for what their future is going to be. So I don't want any parts of that if I'm Russ.
Here's where I'm at with it, though, is everything the Giants offer, the Steelers don't. And everything the Steelers offer, the Giants don't. So I think it depends on what you want if you're Russ. Because offensively, the Steelers don't offer you any stability, Russ. They don't know who their offensive coordinator is. It's Arthur Smith. But who has Arthur Smith developed? Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota, Ryan Tannehill. So who has Arthur Smith developed at the quarterback position? If you go to Pittsburgh, Russ, you're the weak link. If you go to the New York Giants, Russ, you can be the savior. If you go to Pittsburgh, Russ, I don't know that you'll develop, but you'll be on a really good team.
Why does Russ need to develop?
Yeah, because he hasn't played well in the last 3 years. So if you go to the Giants, at least he hasn't played well in the last 3 years.
But,
3 years ago in Seattle, he got hurt and didn't play well.
He played good last year.
2 years ago, he played Denver.
He played last year, and you can't say Russ needs to develop.
So I do not trust Russ with Arthur Smith. I would rather trust Russ with Brian Daboll. But I don't trust anybody with Arthur Smith. I haven't seen Arthur Smith develop any quarterback. So if Russ goes to Pittsburgh, and I think Pittsburgh is obviously a more competent franchise than the New York Giants right now. But if you're Russ, I look at it, James, to some degree like when you went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Now y'all didn't necessarily win, but you had 112 targets. You had the most catches you ever had. And what do you want out of life? You want to go ball individually, or do you want to be on a better team and you're still probably not going to win it all?
But why would Russ ball individually in New York? Do they have a better roster than Pittsburgh?
Don't have a better roster, but they're going to lean on him more because